Hey, Wildcats. It's Sneak Peek Friday. Sorry I'm running late today, but I have a beautiful copy of Full Disclosure by Camryn Garrett to share with you. And as you can see, it's also available through KCLS. If you want to read the ebook, it's available right now. If you don't mind waiting, then there's a little waiting list for the audiobook, or when we are back in school in the fall, hopefully, um, you can check it out because this will be on the shelf in the Sylvester Library. Anyway, I'm going to read a little of this book just to let you know. It has a little adult content, so if you have any younger siblings and you're going to listen to this, you might want to shoo them out of the room. I'm also going to shoo myself out of here, make myself disappear, and start reading some of chapter one. So, poof, and here is a little chapter one. And just so you know, part of the dedication is to anyone touched by the AIDS crisis, so that I'll give you some idea of what the adult content might be about. Anyway, chapter one. As much as I've tried to convince him otherwise, my father still thinks he needs to accompany me to my first gynecologist appointment. To him, it's an important rite of passage. I'm sure Tia Camilla would have taken me, I say, glancing out the car window. It's bad enough that we're going to this appointment together, but it's also uncomfortably close to the hospital where he works, which means we're going to run into at least three of his patients. She likes doing this sort of stuff, and we could have worked it around her business trips. Well, you're my daughter, he says, pulling into a parking spot, and this is the sort of thing parents live for. Somehow I doubt that. Dad has patches of gray sneaking into his black hair, and there's an indent in the tan skin of his nose where his glasses rest. When he isn't wearing a lab coat, he dresses in old man clothes, like sweater vests and khakis. I wish his lack of fashion sense were the most embarrassing thing about him, but it isn't. Inside, he actually pulls out a clipboard with questions to ask the doctor. I might just die. The waiting room feels too small and smells like cheap air freshener. He tucks the clipboard by his side, looking down at the questionnaire from the secretary. When was your last menstrual cycle? Dad, these are normal questions. I take the questionnaire from him. I'll figure this stuff out. I ask my patients these sorts of questions all the time, you know. It doesn't have to be awkward. But I'm your kid. That makes it weirder. I fly through the questions, and I'm mostly honest. He already filled out the parts that take the most time, my medical background especially. So I bring the form back up to the lady at the desk. When I return, Dad's pulled out the clipboard he brought from home, reviewing his questions. There's really no reason for you to be nervous, Simone, he says, patting my leg. His glasses keep sliding down his nose. If he were my doctor, I wouldn't be able to take him seriously. A lot of the women I see are nervous for their first appointments. I'm not a woman. My leg bounces up and down. I'm like 12. You're 17. Most girls have their first appointment when they're 15, but it's more of a formality. You aren't even sexually active, I know, but we both know I'm not having sex. A woman with a gigantic pregnant belly glares at me. I don't know why she seems irritated. She'll be lucky if her kid ends up anything like me. I've made it to 17 without dying, first of all, which I'm not sure my parents even expected. So, he says, why were you so adamant about this appointment now? I bite my lip. Technically, I don't need to see a gynecologist. I'm not dating anyone. My chances of losing my virginity haven't magically increased recently. But Dr. Khan, my HIV doctor, recommended that I see a gynecologist if I have questions. And, well, I do. I can't exactly tell my dad the other part of the truth, that I want to know more about sex because of a hot guy at school. There's nothing going on between us, but still, I can hope, can't I? All right, that's all I'm going to get to read today. So if you're interested, check out Full Disclosure by Camryn Garrett. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.